So recently you may have heard about this thing called ChatGPT blowing up all over the internet. And if you don't know what it is, it's this text-based AI chat which answers every single question that you ask it. And unlike Google and other search engines, once you ask it one question, if it's on the same thread, it remembers your previous questions. You can start asking it follow-up questions and it's gonna give you this complete solution to your problem. Keeping that in mind, I started to use it for my own work, especially in the areas of copywriting or coming up with some ideas even for videos like these that you're watching. And I started to wonder and ask myself, can ChatGPT actually help people manifest their desires? Can it be a complete solution to the problems when it comes to manifesting? Because in a way, if you start asking ChatGPT question, it can almost feel like you're talking to a coach who's guiding you through the process. So then my next question automatically was, if it's so good, can it actually replace my job as a manifesting coach? And the answer is mind-blowing, which I want to explore in this video. So if you want to learn more about this, stay tuned and let's get started. Welcome back to this video. My name is Rav Sitala. I'm a manifesting coach, and recently we released this new course called Manifest Like Neville, the 7 days challenge, which you can find down in the link in the description box below. If I had to be fairly honest, I took some help from ChatGPT in order to write down some of the script, some of the text for this course. Ever since I was really young, I've always struggled with dyslexia, and as a result, I've always had mistakes in grammar and things like that when I'm writing down stuff. So I started getting some help from ChatGPT recently. I would just write things such as, help me correct the grammar on this thing. It would simply correct the entire email with the new grammar. Then I started seeing its other implications. You could simply ask it one question and it could give a very intelligible answer, like you were talking to a coach or something. Especially in terms where you may be struggling, you may feel that kind of like bond with ChatGPT. For example, I could just ask it something like, can you help me get better at grammar or something like that, right? Get better at grammar. And it'll give you all these like bullet points on like how you can do it in a step-by-step manner, which is pretty awesome. After you create this one thread, you can keep asking it follow-up questions and it won't forget like what you asked it before. For example, how can I pay attention? Because one of the point on number 4 you can see is like pay attention to grammar, right? It's going back straight to the point here. It's understanding your question already. Keeping that in mind, I started asking myself, can it actually help you to such a degree that it can replace your job as a manifesting coach, or you can benefit so much out in your own manifestation journey? For example, let's ask it something related to manifesting. Let's just say you're trying to manifest a better grade and you're asking, I'd like to manifest better grades. Can you help me with it? So let's see what it has to say. As you can see, the answer that it's giving here is like pretty good. It's giving the answer in a step-by-step form. This is probably what I would teach to my clients too. I've sped up the video here to some extent. It almost feels like somebody else is typing into their screen and it's like showing up right in the real time. It's giving out pretty good answers. Then I started wondering about topics that may seem woo-woo to others, like law of assumption or everyone is you pushed out, right? What about things in those areas? So with that in mind, let's just ask it, can you manifest specific results or things? Yes, it's possible to manifest specific things or results. Manifesting is the act of creating something in your life through the power of thought and belief. Another thing it's saying here is, however, it's important to keep in mind that manifestation is not about simply thinking positive things and hoping for the best. It requires effort. I totally agree on that. And action on your part. Yes, that's true too. If you want to manifest better grades, you have to study to some extent too, right? Now this is pretty interesting, right? But let's also ask it whether if it's possible to manifest even more specific outcomes, such as manifesting a specific person. Because according to a lot of like law of attraction teachings, people think this is a woo-woo topic and it's not possible, right? A lot of coaches even tell you that. Ask them like whether you can manifest a specific person, they'll tell you no. But in my experience, that is possible. So let's just ask ChatGPT to see what it has to say to us on this matter, okay? Can I manifest a specific person? It's not necessarily possible to manifest a specific person into your life. Manifestation is the act of creating something into your life through the power of thought and belief. While you can use manifestation to attract specific qualities or characteristics that you desire in a partner, you cannot control who you will meet or develop a relationship with. See, it's already starting to kind of go in this more like skeptical or more in a realistic way, but it's already like kind of conflicting with the teachings that we teach through law of assumption or everyone is you pushed out. So what about manifesting changes in your body, right? That's another topic that people want to know about. Can you help me manifest changes in my physical appearance? While it's possible to use manifestation to bring about changes in your physical appearance, it's important to keep in mind that manifestation is not about trying to control or manipulate your body. Set a clear and specific goal. So it's giving you all these steps, which is pretty awesome. Take action. Manifestation is not about simply thinking positive thoughts and hoping for the best, right? Practicing gratitude. It's giving all the answers in a more realistic sense. It's not really talking about law of assumption here. This is pretty good answer too, but what it's lacking is it's lacking that answer from this more spiritual perspective. But when it comes to law of assumption, I think a lot of these answers that I don't agree with, that's just my belief system. And when I assume something to be true, like it is true in my reality. For example, if I had to manifest a specific person, that's not a big deal for me. In fact, whenever I think of something, a specific outcome that I need to come from other person, first I change it within my mind, right? That's the thing. Manifestation is definitely not controlling the thing in the other person, right? You're not trying to control or manipulate other person by any degree. It's not about witchcraft or anything like that. You're basically changing your assumptions that you have about other people in your own mind. You're essentially changing your internal reflections of others within yourself. That's all you're doing. After using this, I think what I have learned from this is like, man, you can definitely use ChatGPT to help general answers for your problems, but when it comes to like getting specific results, I think there's definitely some flaws in its teaching when it comes to like the law of assumption or manifesting in general. In my own experience, when I start to focus on the end goal, the action is going to come to me in a form of inspired action. I don't have to like really force myself into doing something. If you're trying to manifest changes in your physical body, for example, like losing weight, let's say, and if you just focus on the end goal, you'll get some inspired actions that's going to take you there in the path of least resistance, where you feel more at ease. But if you're just focusing on the actions itself and you're trying to force yourself into like going to diets or going to work out in the gym, it's not going to do you any good, because you're still coming from that place of resistance where you're actually forcing yourself to do certain things that you don't want to do. That's where I do disagree with ChatGPT here. What it's talking about here is more about action in general, right? You have to take certain actions to get there, but what kind of action? It's not clarifying that. So that's something that I'm disagreeing with here. Another thing that I have to disagree with ChatGPT here is it's talking about manifesting a specific person as if it's trying to manipulate somebody in the outside, right? But that's not what we're talking about here at all. We're talking about changing our thoughts and assumptions within ourselves, because reality is a perception of our true inner thoughts and feelings. All these things are what gets pushed out to create the realities within us. For example, it's definitely possible to change other people's behaviors or attitude towards us. And I say this with experience because I've done it so many times. I do it all the time in my life. That's where I find ChatGPT to be a little bit limiting when it comes to this. But I don't want you to completely disregard ChatGPT and paint it as something that's not useful, because like I said, I've been using it in my own business and work as well, right? So you can definitely try to see which aspect of your life can you get help from, and definitely try to get the most use out of it until it's free. You can definitely use ChatGPT to your advantage, but don't take everything that it says on the face value. You must use your own internal compass or your judgment to actually decide on whether you think this answer might benefit you or not, or whether you think this answer is true according to your beliefs or not. But for me personally, I love ChatGPT, but when it comes to like manifesting, I wouldn't actually rely on this at all. I would simply just try to avoid it when it comes to like spiritual concepts or manifesting, because it's not designed to do that yet. Maybe in the future, it'll get there. But right now, I think my job as a manifesting coach is pretty secure. Also, I'm starting to offer some one-on-one coaching sessions as well as email coaching sessions starting this week. So if you want to get help with your own desires and work with me, you can find the link for my coaching page down below. With that being said, guys, keep persisting on your journey. And if you see something that's not aligned with your values, if you see something that's demotivating, you can simply choose to focus on something else and take your focus away from it, right? And that's how you get better at manifesting. Happy manifesting. Goodbye and namaste.